Can't stop me now. You 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 can't stop me now. Fight. You can't stop me now. 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 Can't stop me now. You 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 can't stop me now. Fight. You can't stop me now.
I've never had this problem. Just
Good evening and welcome to the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge Season 4. Today's race, round 5 at Suzuka. Main sponsors this evening are Apex Tracks, Motorsport and Motor Racing, Circuit Wall Art, Racetrack Sculpture, manufactured using F1, Motorsport inspired rapid prototyping technology. Other partners include 603 Autosport, 3D Rap, Track Racer, Digital Motorsport, Esports Sim, and the GP Box. Broadcast team this evening are supplied by JPBroadcasting with myself, James Parfit, and Dean Biggles in the booth. This series and today's race is broadcast live on the Crest Autosport TV on YouTube and also on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel as well. Welcome along whenever you are watching around the world. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell to be notified of all the videos and broadcasts. Tonight we are here at the fabulous Suzuka circuit, track length 3.608 miles, 5.807 kilometers, 16 turns, 9 right, 7 left. Hosted over the years the Japanese Grand Prix and presents WTCC. Format this evening. Qualifying sets the grid for race 1. That will be 15 minutes and will go off very, very shortly. Race 1 will be 15 minutes grid based on the qualifying results. Race 2, 15 minutes grid based on race 1 reverse top 10. Race 3 grid based on race 2 reversed top 10 as well. Cars in the session, 36 seats available for the season. Each manufacturer model has their advantages and disadvantages, but all are front wheel drive, 340 to 345 brake horsepower, and all weighing between about 1,300 and 1,400 kilograms. There are cars available for choice for all entrances to the championship, spanning 5 seasons of WTCR racing. The Alfa Romeo Giulietta, Audi R3, Cupra Leon, Honda Civic, Hyundai i30, Hyundai Elantra, the Lada Vesta, the Lynx & Co. 03, Opel Astra, Peugeot 308, and the Renault Megane, and the Volkswagen Golf GTI. Currently from the last race at Spa, Alex Everitt took 90 points, Lee Horne there on 84, Fabio Gil took 69, Fraser Rostant on 68, Jamie Dory on 61, Ian Deeney on 60, Ricardo Pessoa Santos on 59, Neil Crave on 57, Pedro Santos on 56, and James Lee on 50. So here are the current team standings. Next Gen Racing Green overtook Fiskars Motorsport this week and jumped to the top of the leaderboard with 537 points. Fiskars on 525, Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks on 454, Next Gen Racing White 446, Next Gen Racing Blue on 385, K Patience on 6264, Crest Autosport with 603 Autosport on 256, and Rusak Racing on 207. So currently at the moment this is the championship standings. As you can see there, we've got Lee Horne on the top of the standings on 162, Fabio Gil on 160, Alex Everitt 151, Jeff Perkins 139, Jorgen M. Pedersen on 124, Neil Craig 115, Alex Ward 114, Stephen de Gravelier on 113, Ian Deeney 109, Robert Stotton on 106. That is your top 10. See other names on the board as well. Paul Hans, Nigel Stott, Gabriel Lopez, Fraser Rostant, Remo Schneider, Russ Butcher, Pedro Santos, Rodrigo Portugal, Roy Plummer, Craig Deacon, Carl Smith, Ricardo Pessoa Santos, Chris Banks, James Lee, Anastasius Georgiadis, Martin Cochran, and Eunice Carbid on the 0 points there at the bottom. Schedule currently, we are on round 5 at Suzuka. Round 6 will take place on the 15th of the 12th at Lorsegring in Germany. So that will be the final round and will be referred to as the Apex Tracks Grand Prix as a celebration to Apex Tracks for being our primary sponsor of all Crest Autosport leagues all year. So rounds 1, 4 and 6 will follow the one sprint, one feature race format. Rounds 2, 3 and 5 will follow the free sprint race format. And tonight, as I said, I am joined in the booth by the mighty Dean Biggles. Good evening, Mr. Biggles. How are you, young sir?
Big in Japan. Big in Japan, absolutely. There's your Apex Tracks sponsor up there at the moment that one of the drivers will be getting as the prize to wrapping up the championship as we are on the penultimate round. Yes, very good, my friend. I love the trains being on time here in Japan and sushi, of course, and the sake on top of it. Welcome along, everybody in the chat too. Robert,
yeah,
is
one of
already
the
out
interesting things, we spoke about this before. We've been to Japan like hundreds of times. Now, one of the things we spoke about is the pit lane time, pit stop time before is actually shorter, has less time delay on the pit stops, has more time delay on the pit stops than any train running in Japan.
Yes, that's amazing, isn't
And
it?
isn't late, is it? Their average lateness time is like 3 seconds or something as well. So I believe, guys, as well, there may have been an error with the championship standings. Alex Everitt is currently drawing with Lee Horne on 3.27, while Fabio Gell is on 3.04. Jeff Perkins in 4th on 2.57. Ian Deeney on 2.50. Neil Crave on 2.26. There as well. Alex Ward on 2.20. Fraser Roston's 2.14. Stephen de Guerrelier on 1.86. Paul Hands rounds out on top 10 on 1.81. So apologies there if you did see a completely different graphic. The interesting thing about Suzuka Biggles, what is it? It's turn 1. It's the S's. It's Dunlop. It's Degner. It's Hairpin. It's Spoon. It's 180R. It's all of the circuit here this evening. And what an absolutely incredible circuit it is as well.
Not a lot of straightaways, really. You do have, obviously, they're curves, but they're essentially straights. But their overtaking opportunities, of course, are plenty. Degners into the first corner. You can try it around Spoon. I expect to see wheel grinding with these gladiators as they're going to make their way around the track, and they're going to start their qualifying session right now. 15 minutes of qualifying we'll have. Yes, well, we'll see, won't we? How the touring cars fly their way around the track. James, we'll pick a driver at the moment if you'd like to go on board there as they're going to get their warm-up lap, and you can give us a hot lap around Suzuka.
Yeah, go for it. We've got Fraser Ruston's coming out the pits as well. So I think the interesting thing about this circuit is not a turn 1. I think they go around turn 1. It's a very fast input corner, right? They've literally got to throw it in there, hope for the best, and Fraser Ruston said clearly not throwing it in enough. But you know, it's one of these circuits there that's got to be amazingly immaculately done. You know, it's coming down to the hairpin currently at the moment, and this circuit is just, I think, is quite incredible because we've got this long run around here before we come into Spoon. And the interesting bit about that as well, you know, round 12 we go all the way round on the right hand side. We're coming into Spoon now. We're going to be looking for the entranceway there on the right hand side. It was that little bit of concrete, and when you see that concrete, the first thing you got to do is hit the brakes, because if you don't, you're going on, and you're going on in a big way. We're on this run down now all the way on this long back straight currently on this track as well, and I think it is an absolutely incredible circuit. Round turn 15, fast left-hander. He's got to get it hooked up. Take a little bit of the car, let it run wide over that exit curb on the right-hand side. Hard on the brakes just before the bridge as we come into the Casio Triangle. The right-left chicane at the end there before they go running around the right-hander to start the first lap here from Fraser Roston. This is coming down the start-finish straight now. Going down into turn 1. He's going to be on maximum power here as well. He's got to throw it in. He's got to pray that it sticks. He's got to hit the brakes. He's got to turn. He's got to do it all at the same time as he's coming into turn 1. There he goes. He throws it in, gets it on the brakes, wraps up the inside curb, lets it run on the exit. Too much. Going up into the S's now, going to the right-hand side. We're going to go left. Then we're going to go long, winding right. And then we're going to come left again, and then he's going to go a right-hander before we go on that run up into Dunlop. Dropping down, now we go down the hill, round coming into Dunlop curb on the left-hand side. Takes a little bit of the curb, he's got to let the car drift a little bit wide on the exit there, and then pull it back in all the way around the full exit of Dunlop. Then we're coming into the Degners, looking for the red sign on the brakes. Slight dab, let it run and get it down. Then we're going to be hard on the brakes, down through the gears. We go for Fraser Roston's into Degner 2. On this run up into the hairpin we go. Now it's going to be a nice long flat run. We're purple in sector 1 there, 55, 54, 51, 578, sorry. And then we go around the left hand and through the hairpin. Now we've got this run now all the way down into Spoon. Down the right hand, this is just a full throttle all the way around here. We've got to keep it on the right hand side. We're looking for that little entrance way on the right hand side. There it is. You're going to see it now. Then you're going to, on the brakes, take the little bit of the entrance curve, then let it run for the exit, and then pull it back in for the exit over that last little bit of an apex. And we're going to be flat on the gas, letting the car run as wide as we can allow it to, because at the end of the day, we don't want to go too far out because we're not pulling it back in. Full throttle now from Fraser on the full gas pedal. We go around the left-hander very, very shortly. Swooping round, there we go. On the exit now, we're going to be pulling it in, looking for the sign on the left-hand side, down through the brakes into Casio Triangle. The right left-hander. There we go, right. There we go, left. And there you go, of a lap around Spa. Good evening, Phil across the pond. Welcome in, Robert Stotton. Welcome in as well. Alex Ward, much love for joining me. I hope you're all having this fabulous evening here as you come into the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge, round 5 from Suzuka. Don't forget, thumbs up, turn on the bells, and subscribe, because that will be absolutely amazing.
That was
so there we
yeah.
go, Biggles.
Yeah, I was going to say that is your 3D wrap of how to wrap up a lap around Suzuka, courtesy of one of our sponsors.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with this track is not the fact that, you know, there's been 6 previous configurations, 3 configurations currently in use now, the West, the East, and the Grand Prix circuit. It's the fact of what type of circuit this is. You know, you're not coming into Japan and sitting back thinking, well, this is going to be easy. It's not. This circuit is incredibly difficult. Driving it myself numerous amounts of times, dying on the track numerous amounts of times, and normally when we're on board here, right, we're going on the left-hander. It's normally about now that you end up dying on the exit of Dunlop, because believe it or not, when you're on cold tyres and you're going full throttle there, it doesn't always work out. And unfortunately here, it's managed to work out for Alex Everitt as we go through Degna 1 and then coming into Degna 2. But that entrance into Dunlop there is so tricky, and they've got to get it right, Biggles, because if they don't, it's all over. All over.
Yeah, these cars are very, very hard to we do see lately throughout the season, of course, that the drivers do go off every once in a while and slam into the fence. Not as much as you'd expect, because they are some of the best drivers on the planet for the touring cars. And they're very hard to spin in a 360. So you either go into that fence at full speed and into the medical center, or you survive to see another day. You've seen a couple of drivers go off the track a little bit, but managed to bring it back onto the track. That'll just cost you a couple of places. You can see Alex there with the yellow mirrors for the Crest Autosports with Apex tracks. And just up the road is one of his teammates, and a couple of his teammates actually, with the pink mirrors. You can just see number 68 car.
Who do you think's going to win?
Alex is on fire lately, just a dominating form in Belgium, so I would not be surprised if he doesn't wrap this one up as well too with his 3D wrap.
Yeah, I think the thing is that Alex is defending champion. We know that from last season. He was absolutely flying. You know, he took the win in the sprint race. He took the win in the hour endurance race they had last week in Spa. You know, Lee Horne has been there or thereabouts, so because he's been second in the sprint and second in the endurance, and hence they're drawing on points currently at the moment. You know, I think this could be a really interesting.
Look, he just stole the pole position away right there as we went on board with him. Mr. Alex, and James Lee has to respond, of course, Ian. And Rebo Schneider just snuck himself up into P2. Still plenty of time to go. We're 7 minutes remaining of our 15-minute qualifying session, so they're reaching the halfway point. Here in Japan, where vending machines almost outnumber the amount of people, mate. We can get anything from a vending machine here. So I love at the hotel room, mate, and go get a couple of beers from the vending machines from the hotel room in the hallway.
Yeah, no, I've heard that about Japan, mate. They have more vending machines. You know, if I remember correctly, I watched a meme video once on YouTube where the guy was walking up in Japan and he could buy so many things out of the vending machine. As you see Pedro Santos go onto pole there on a 211.997. You know, I think at one point this meme was the fact that he went and bought 4 new tyres for his car out of a vending machine. You know what I mean?
It's clever, obviously, because, you know, the baby booming generation, stuff like that, and because you've got a lot of elderly there, they don't have, unfortunately, the amount of staff, essentially, to be able to staff that, you know, everything. So the vending machines are a perfect solution to cut down your solution of not having enough people to sell the product. So it's great. And plus, too, you purchase basically vending machine. You get like a ticket card thing. So you put your money in vending machine, you get this ticket card thing, and that's how you make purchases through all the shops and stuff like that too. So you don't even have to deal with currency. You order everything on a machine and use the card, and they just give you the product. That's it. No, typical go to cash register and pay stuff like that. No, it's great. I want to be back in Japan's great. Now, Fabio in the P2, the Portuguese powerhouse. That's Pedro and Fabio right there. It's the teammates, of course, there for the Figus Motor Spirit team. Sport. A little hard to see the O on the yellow background.
Motorsport in there. Yeah, I think the interesting thing is
it's Ingo's pole.
Once the team standings there as well. Next Gen Racing Green are leading the team standings on 537 with Fisgas Motorsport behind on 525. Then you got the Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks in third on 454. So in conjunction, there's not a massive difference. Alex Everitt from the Crest team there with Apex Tracks, and also Nigel Stock is in that team. And, Alex really kind of could do with Nigel kind of bringing the car home and up the order, because currently Nigel's sitting down in 17th at the moment. And I think that's going to be the interesting thing. It's going to be who can get the top of the timing. Fabio Gil is back on top of the 2:11.760. I think it's interesting to see how this comes about, you know what I mean? And let's go from there about it, because I think, to be honest, I don't think Alex and Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks will take the team championship without Nigel Stock bringing that car forward. He's got to come forward with that car, because at the moment the Next Gen Racing Green boys and the Racing Whites and that are looking strong with Fisgas as well. But Fabio Gil really needs Pedro Santos to really bring it this evening, because he needs that help as well. There's no iron team, but you can't be independent. Alex isn't Superman. Lee Horne isn't Superman. Fabio Gil isn't Superman, because as we know with racing, and even more with TCR's Biggles, anything can happen, and that's the thing.
Anything can happen and will happen, perhaps, in motor racing. That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and especially in CCR. I think CCRs is one of them things, one of those natural things that bring close racing. And I think, to be honest, here in Japan, the curbs are tall, Dunlop curb especially. So the TCR is going to struggle, I think, with this. And tyre wear, 5% of the tyres wear down each lap, and lucky enough we're doing sprints, because if we were doing anything more, it would be horrendous. And, and the laps there just become very difficult especially in race 3 with the longer 20-minute length. If you're losing 5% every 5 laps, you're going to do between 10 and 11 laps, which means they're going to lose about 10 to 12% of tyre wear across the duration of the races. And I don't want to be sat for a 20-minute race in this car losing 10% of tyre wear, because I'm sliding it through. So there you go.
Going to be sliding your way through to be on the pole position in the front row for sure, with a couple of minutes to go. Fabio Gil looking pretty strongly there. This is the thing about Alex, down in P6 currently at the moment. Now, he doesn't. He's a man on a mission when he's driving. He can slice away through a field pretty quickly. So I don't think he's going to be too concerned about his qualifying pace being a little bit off that particular pole position. But it's up to these other drivers at the moment, because remember too, we are on the sprint weekend, so you got shorter races. You can't get these chance to get up the road there and win by like a 30-second margin that he's done before in the past. This one with these short sprints, you got a little bit of time to get it done, but that's P6 is okay. If he drops any further than that, he could be in a little bit of trouble of having to slice his way through. And of course, Fabio Gil, if he can maintain that pole position and keep Mr. Lee at bay, then he could do that for the rest of the race. So once they get away at the start there, mate, you've got a little bit of an advantage in the Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, but they've also got reverse top 10s, mate.
Yeah, of course, and then that comes back and bites you later, of course, around that one. But
and then they're sitting with ballast as well. And, the ballast is qualifying is the top 8 in the championship of 40 kilos all the way down through 5 kilo increments all the way down to the top 8. Race 1 is from the championship top 8 as well, with the same thing, 40 kilos down, 5 kilos increments. So, Alex is currently sitting with 40 kilos of ballast in his car, where the likes of Fabio Gil is only sitting with 30, and then we go into race 2 and it's from qualifying top 8, 40 kilos as well, and then the qualifying top 8, another 40 kilos. So that ballast balance is going to come into effect. And as you say, Alex cannot physically afford to give himself a mountain. He needs to be climbing a molehill and not a mountain, and I think that's going to be the interesting thing for these guys, as we are going to be in with the qualifying results there, guys, as well. And I think it's going to be an exciting one here in Japan. As you can see, Fabio Gil is in first place, James Lee second, Ian Deeney third, Pedro Santos fourth, Racer Rostons fifth, Alex Everitt sixth, Remo Schneider seventh, Lee Horne eighth, Stephen de Grevelier in 9th, Ricardo Pessoa Santos in 10th, Neil Crave in 11th, Jeff Perkins 12th, Nigel Stock 13th, Robert Stoughton 14th, Craig Deacon 15th, Anastasius Georgiades 16th, Roy Plummer 17th, Russ Butcher 18th, Carl Smith 19th, Chris Banks is currently in 20th. Paul had there as well in 19th and 20th. Going to be an interesting one. Alex got 6th in the end.
There's 2 other drivers, Chris Banks and Gabriel Lopez, that didn't set a time. That'll scroll through right now, I believe. It's a little slow to do that, but that's what it is. Chris Banks right there, and Gabriel Lopez will be the last one, 22. That's qualifying, done and dusted. So the race is going to come up in a minute. What do you reckon? It's going to change. Sometimes it does change because some of the qualifying results come up just before they're across the line. So if anybody didn't prove on that last lap, that might switch it around.
Yeah, I think that's where the change was at the bottom with Carl Smith as well, with Chris Banks. So, there we go. Up and running for race 1.
Don't forget, of course, everybody, Apex to vote for your driver of the day. So make a notice, obviously, of these races that we have those 3 of them. And overall tally up who do you think is the best over all 3 of those races, including the qualifying session, no doubt. And then we'll get to vote for the Apex driver of the day. We'll announce that towards the end. So
me.
Very good. That's I like. See, it's Melbourne too, my friend. Too. So Apex even got the right track there, making sure they're patriotic to Australians.
No, they didn't. It was a mistake. They messaged me saying that we've made a mistake and that.
Oh, really? Okay, so you would give that Albert Park back? You wouldn't put it on your wall, mate? I still need to get order one. I'm gonna have to order one before the last race.
I'm after one. I just need them to reach out me. If Apex Tracks are listening and you want to reach out, you can hit me up and I'll happily put it on the.
You wouldn't get Silverstone, would you? I'd get Brands Hatch, something
Brands
like that.
Hatch.
Yeah.
Brands Hatch, I think, mate. I think definitely would be an absolutely amazing one as well. One of my, obviously, I'd get my favourite circuit, which would be Interlagos, because I love Interlagos.
I love it. Yeah,
my baby. It's. I don't even know why, and that's the thing with the Interlagos. I've not been there personally.
You know why? It's the lone pine tree where we could sit there with our fold-up chairs just near that tree that's on a separate barrier, remember, and sip some pina coladas. That's why. That's the best seat in town.
Yeah, sitting there in our comfy chairs doing our business. Sitting there nice and relaxed and drinking our Aussie beer.
What would be fun to do, I don't know if you could do it in the game because we're going to be ready for the warm-up and then they're going to be starting to grid up, is to reverse the track opposite, because it used to be the opposite track, remember, and they changed the direction of it. So that'd be interesting to try.
Yeah, I don't know if racing down into Casio Triangle really excites me that much. I've got to be honest.
Not Japan, I'm talking about Interlagos.
Oh, Interlagos,
yes.
Yeah.
That used to be an opposite track. This one.
Yeah.
This one's a Honda test track.
Yeah,
for motorcycles, really.
I don't think racing down. Can you imagine racing uphill into Casio Triangle? That would be.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it wouldn't be quite good. That's like same in Belgium, isn't it? Doing the bus stop and all. Imagine going down, like we had last week, of course. Eau Rouge at full speed. It should be going down there.
Starting on what you can do is starting on the endurance pits after La Source. Race uphill into La Source and then go racing across into the bus stop. I think that would be absolutely incredible. Any more than I think coming reverse into Casio Triangle would be absolutely amazing as well. I think that would be incredible. So, Alex Everitt, if you are watching, that is an idea for you if you want to do a reverse Japan. I don't know if Race Room do it. However, I have looked at Race Room really interested later on, right? And I was loading into the session to have a go. We are going to be going green very, very shortly, mind you. So we'll keep an eye on this one as well. Just a really quick story. As soon as I went into Race Room, it brought up trucks. Oh,
Yeah, I saw that.
I need to click the buy now
They're off
button.
my
We are
front.
green,
Yeah.
green here for round 5 at Suzuka. And currently in front at the moment is still Fabio Gill leading the way. And in second place there is James Lee. And what an absolutely incredible start there. Did what he had to do, did Fabio Gill, and got away cleanly, Biggles.
Yeah, that's exactly. You're going to control the momentum of the race in that position because you got it, you earned it for your qualified position. Look at Alex at the moment trying to make his way from that P6 up through the field. I would be surprised if he doesn't look at making an overtaken opportunity soon. Where do you think? Maybe one of the Degners, maybe the hairpin? I don't know.
It's got to be too early, I think, for the Degner run. He's going to be looking at maybe in the hairpin. We're coming through Dunlop currently at the moment. And that is Alex Everitt chasing all the way up in the back of Pedro Santos there as well. He's not going to be looking this early on as you go through Degner 1 on the brakes now on the exit of Degner 2. He's got to be looking to get a better run into that hairpin, and he's got to be trying to overtake him very, very shortly. But Alex Everitt is still stuck there behind Ricardo Santos in 5th place currently at the moment. Underway, Biggles. Nice clean start, no major dramas there. You know, and I think we're going to be in for a good one.
There is a side-by-side move at the moment between Fraser and Pedro, battling it out for the P4, P5 position. So, yes, they're looking at making those opportunities. Alex is now sitting back and watching them, see if they can, where that overtaken opportunity would be, so he can look at perhaps doing that one coming up soon. Further back in the field, a great deal of drama, which is great. So far, so good. Everybody realizes, hey, it's a 15-minute sprint race. We got more races to go today. Let's not get too eager. Maybe this man, James Lee's looking too eager to say, I'm P1 at the moment. And I'm, the sole Volkswagen, remember, in this racing league. So make it use of the German engineering.
Yeah, definitely I would, as they come running down into Casio Triangle now. Fabio Gill goes on the defensive early. There we got Lee, James Lee, tucked up right behind him currently at the moment. But he's not going to be able to get the move done and dusted. We are running down now, down the start-finish straight. On the back end of Fabio Gill, as we look back, there is Alex Everitt still chasing down Santos. Still not getting through. We are only on lap 1. If you leave that door open, Biggles, what's going to happen?
You get burgled. There it is. We know,
Yeah,
just like this.
he's got it.
Ian got burgled, and look at this. Pedro, Ian's dropped a couple places right now. Look at this. Hey, he definitely left his door open. He left his windows open and everything. The house is unlocked.
Yeah, Dini there dropping down the order now into 5th place in front of Alex Everitt. This gives Alex Everitt the Alfa Romeo Giulietta to chase down. He's bullying him up the inside at the moment. He's got his elbows out as the Englishman as he goes on that exit now on that run down Dunlop. That is Alex Everitt into 5th place as Ian Dini has had a bit of a mare and runs off wide in, which is one of the things that can happen here this evening. And
Lee Horne, up on the inside of Remo Schneider. So something's happened with Ian because he's just dropping off pace tooth and nail there. Maybe a little bit of damage he's cost it because he's dropped a couple of places and under massive pressure from Remo Schneider now. Lee Horne further back
trying to make the move there. He's chasing down, of course. We've got Dini who dropped down the order. He's right in front of us currently at this moment in time as we're on that run down into Spoon.
Further back, there's a little bit of action. Sorry to cut you off there. Robert here.
Yeah,
Robert
down
Stoughton
in
and
12th.
Nigel. They're going for it too for now. Remember, these are crucial positions. You want to get up there because if you get that reverse grid, remember, you're in a key position for the next race.
Yeah, you want to get to 10th because then you get to 1st.
Yes, exactly.
So from these points of view from Robert Stoughton here, he's got to give it a good old go and try and get up now from 12th through Jeff Perkins, who's in the Alfa Romeo. And we're looking now, is on the left-hand side, is Stoughton. Perkins on the right. We're going to come into 180R. Who's going to be brave? Is it going to be... Oh, there's contact!
Yeah.
Oh, Stoughton there, giving it the elbow, turned around to Perkins and said, sorry, son, you're not having that. I want that. Oh, Perkins has come in. He's come in and sent it deeper than a FedEx parcel, I'll tell you that much. And he's, oh, blimey, what is going on in the middle of the pack there?
Yeah, I have to go back to
here
that
we
one because I
go.
just want to see if James is going to make a run here into turn 1 here in Japan.
Yeah, James, he's got to try and make it, Biggles. What's going to happen? He can't. Oh, he's going to run it wide, Gill. Oh, there was no choice for James there to back out because at the end of it,
We'll go
Fabio
back to
Gill
this
was
action, of course, further back in the field, the midfield at the moment here. They're all battling it out for hopefully that P10 position. Because they're 2 for now, side by side, essentially. You say there's contact, my friend. This is all about contact at the World Touring Car Championship. You've got to make contact to get overtakes. Just ask Alex about that one. Bit of paint to scrape off the car, but nothing you can't buff out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the interesting thing here, because Crave has really got to give it some. In front of him currently is stock. And from their point of view as well, with, the battle for the teams, Next Gen Racing White here are trying to chase down, the Crest Autosport team. And at the moment, it is, well, at the moment with Alex Everitt being in 5th, but there's a lot that's got to be taking place here for this to happen for Next Gen Racing White, as we can see here. Battle for 8th place there, Lee Horne, Rob Schneider still going at it on this run around into Spoon, the fast right-hander here, Biggles. As you can see, Ricardo Pessoa Santos in 9th place there, settling down, chasing the guys in 8th.
Already gaps starting to form in between that you can see. This is a front mid back. There's the top 3, and there's your 4 and 5. And I had to say, very soon, the way Alex has been catching the back of Pedro, they may very well be looking at a P4 soon, as it's Alex time to shine, as he does. Crest Autosport's man, the boss, the top dog. And he leads by example, my friend, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, but Pedro Santos is not going to roll over and get his belly tickled and say, yeah, mate, here's the position, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave my door open and let you burgle me just for the sake because you want to. At the end of the day, I'm going to battle away here, and that's what he's currently doing. They're on this run down into turn 1. What he needs to do now is get that car to the right-hand side of that circuit, because if you leave that door open, there's an off-track there as well.
Yeah, I think that might have been Craig or somebody further back at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't quite see who that was, but this is the battle in 14th place currently at the moment. Deakin Butcher Stotton here as well. There is Deakin in the back end of these guys, chasing down currently at the moment Deakin as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this mid-pack and see how they get on here, Biggles, because I think they need to sort of, I would say work together, but that's like asking, me not to eat McDonald's. It's just not likely to happen, you know what I mean?
Right, and here comes the food references. Didn't take too long, did it? 7 minutes in change, yes, and you eat before you cast, and you eat before you drive. Stevie's trying to really hold on to this P9 position or somewhere around here. This is going to be good for him, because if he can hover around the P9, P10, of course, once again, that'll be good for the reverse grid coming up. So he's battling up Lee Horne. And here's the Greek driver, I think. Kieran, we had to see it, because I'd like to see you pronounce his name for us, please. He's back in P16. Georgiadis, yes. His first name as well. Anastasios.
Yeah, Georgiadis there as well, currently down in P16. So Everett still not managed to get through past Pedro Santos here, and I think this is going to be... Two things are going to be happening in that car with Alex Everitt. We're either sitting in there and he's nice and calm and cool and collective, or he's blowing smoke so hard out of his heroes at this moment in time, because he cannot make this move. He can see the guys, Gil, Lee, Roston, slowly edging away, and he needs to be catching him, because he's just not making that difference at the moment.
There's Vlad out there into the chat. One of our Ukrainian drivers, I think we had from last season. So hello. But you're doing well.
Yeah, Tatara. Welcome in,
it's Tatara.
Hope you're all well.
Yeah, we obviously the reasons why we know that it can't be racing. I'm sure they will be racing. And good best wishes to everything that's happening in your neck of the woods. You've got our support, of course, and everybody else in the world, essentially. Good to see you back racing again. Hey, Alex not able to do too much at the moment. Just you can see this packet that the lead here is just starting to spread. And good on Fabio. Really maintaining now. Almost a second gap, and looking pretty good with 5 minutes change to go in the race now to wrap this one up. If you're 3D wrap, of course. Do you reckon he'll be wrapping the race up? There's our 3D wrap.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting thing here for Gil as well. It depends on how calm he can stay throughout the rest of this race, because, we know that this could be, massive for him in the championship. He'll gain, a good old chunk of change here. And I think at the end of the day, he's got to be able to bring this home, when you're looking at 30 points.
Ooh, look at this now. Look who's creeped in. Fraser's creeping in here to try to steal this one away from Alex. You don't hear that very often. Somebody tries to sneak it past Alex, and he got it.
He got it done, Ross. He's got it done there. It was on the exit of Degner too. was the run up now into the hairpin. Now Rostons has got to hug that inside line. Don't let Everitt round. Drift that car wide.
Yeah.
Take his nose off faster than a plastic surgeon, son, because otherwise you're going to be losing it. Everett's coming now up in the inside. Don't let him bully you, Fraser. You need to hug that inside line. Take the inside line into Spoon, I tell you, because otherwise Everitt is going to drive you around the outside, mate. And not only that, as they say, Biggles, he's going to drive you around the bend.
Yeah, he's literally around the bend. Exactly. Well, the puns are coming thick and fast here at Crest Autosport, but James is in the casting booth. And Alex is going to tuck in right now. He knows this probably may very well be 2 more laps or so, give or take, to go. You would have, because we know they're at 2 minute and 12 lap time around here. And do your math on that, we're at 4 minutes and change.
Yeah, you're going to have one and one more, I think, before the final lap of the race. Depending on how quick Gil can shift that car around the stage.
Look at this! That's a bullying side 101 right there. That's a, that's, I don't know. I didn't have to make one for the stewards, mate, but that's, yeah. Really just pushing him into the wall there. And now Alex is going to be under massive attack. Revo Schneider there.
Yeah, Schneider's got to give it some. Take the inside line, mate. He's left the door open for you. Pop it down the inside. Here we go, Revo Schneider. Oh, Mr. Everitt comes across, turns around and says no. You know, the funniest thing with that is the worst thing is as well for poor Rostons there as well. Not only did he go down the order, you know, in a weird way, and I find this playing simulators, it's unfair. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't entirely to blame for that, was he?
Yeah, I don't know. You got, because like up here too, we get a little bit of the netcode, a spectator menu and stuff like that. So yeah, I had to kind of see it from their perspective to see, because they always are grinding and when they're racing. So that's something to be expected. But how much was it? Steering angle into what direction, who was doing what? You just don't know from this point of view. That's something that maybe we'll chat to the drivers about, or depending on who wins the race or not, who gives us a chat. But for now, Lee is, here he is, Lee Horne there on Remo Schneider. But Fabio Gil's still running away with this one, mate. And as far as I'm concerned, this is probably one of the closest battles you're going to see currently at the moment. So this one as well, too. Mr. Pedro Santos and Stevie.
Lee Horne there, trying to chase down Schneider. Pessoa Santos as well, currently sitting in 9th, chasing down the Grelier. How is he going to be getting on now, as we don't have a lot of time left?
I'll tell you what, the Portuguese driver should be doing a little bit better than the Belgium driver that's up the road. If you kind of refer to the World Cup about that one. There's Stevie was an early exit there from the World Cup. So you don't represent right now, my friend. Because you're looking at a very, very quick Ricardo.
Pessoa Santos needs to kind of almost, I just want to say send it really, because he clearly is quicker than De Grelier, but he's got to kind of send it through, because if you're not sticking your nose in, mate, you're not doing well, I'll tell you. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out, but it'd be good to see if we can get hold of either Alex or Fraser after and talk about this incident in race 1. Maybe we'll pull him in at the end of the 3 races and see if we can have a chat with there as well. Lee Horne currently in 2nd, still with Remo Schneider in front of us at the moment, Biggles. Not long to go now.
Oh, I just saw the drive-through penalty came up there for Remo. So that's it for that. Remo Schneider, that's behind Lee Horne here. It pops up for a millisecond, mate. You have to be very, very quick with the race room. I saw that, and then somebody else might have had a penalty as well, too, so the stewards might have investigated that. But let's say that's pretty much that battle. So Pedro Santos, of course, is a little bit further back there, and I don't think he's going to do anything now. He's going to do it as we're getting close to probably seeing James Lee. Last attempt, maybe, to bring it on Fabio Gil. He has started to reel him in, and look at that top 3 at the moment. So you got the Brits surrounded by a couple of Portuguese driver. Could turn into a nice World Cup battle, isn't it? The World Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, I think this is the final lap of the race at the moment, and we've got Gil, Lee, Pessoa Santos here, literally not very far apart at all, as we go on the back wing of Pessoa Santos and see what happens here. But at the moment, nothing as they come into Spoon for the final time, I believe, this evening. Gil's got to try and wrap this up. He's got to get this on car, make this. He's almost got to get the man in his back seat to throw as much as he can out of that window and make this car as wide as physically possible here at the moment, because at the moment he's got to do it. He's got to get Cassio try and go nailed. I tell you that much, if he was sticking up a shelf, he needs it nailed to the wall, mate, and at the moment he needs this nailed, because otherwise...
Yeah, that's bold and brave, but it's not going to work now. It's a day late,
oh,
a dollar short.
I think he might get a run unless Gill wraps up that inside and stays on the inside line. He cannot let... Oh, Gill's through there just at the end.
Yeah, 9,000th of a second there over James Lee and then Pedro Santos. Ian Deanley and Alex, did you see that drive-through penalty come up? So it was confirmed, I believe, for excessive off-track excursions. Alex comes in at P5. Lee Horne, get that P6 position there. Stevie and Ricardo Santos. P8, P9, Jeffrey and Nigel round out your top 10. So for that reverse grid that we're going to have. Can't take it away from the Portuguese powerhouse driver right there, wrapping up the first race.
Yeah, Nigel Stock is going to be on pole. Perkins second, Pessoa Santos third, Grelier in fourth, Horne fifth, Everett sixth, Dini seventh, Santos eighth, Lee ninth, and Gill is going to be your 10th place there. As you can see, race winner is Fabio Gill. He's going to be taking the victory with Lee in second, Santos in third, Dini fourth, Everett fifth, Horne in sixth, Grevelier in seventh, Pessoa Santos in eighth. He took the fastest lap as well. Perkins in ninth, Stock in 10th, Craven 11th, Stotton 12th, Butcher 13th, Deakin 14th, Juilliard is 15th, Smith in 16th, Banks 17th, Lopez 18th, Hans 19th, and Schneider down in 20th place.
Well done. Well done. I will transfer that over here at the moment so we can have a look at those results again while they get ready for the second race. Coming up soon. We'll take a short break, I believe there, James. And I think we'll definitely have to get ready for the next one.
Absolutely.
So don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute.
I can't stop me now. You 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 can't stop me now.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are on our way for starting our race 2, the reverse grid scenario for the race 2. Of course, don't forget to vote for your driver of the day for the Apex tracks. That's update commentary tonight, of course, will be brought to you by myself, Dean Biggles, and Mr. James Parrow. Mr. James, welcome back. You looking forward to this?
Hello, mate. Oh, I'm always looking forward to this race. It is absolutely epic, and we've had first race 1 as well. Robert Stoughton is in YouTube chat. That was some good racing. It was. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think it's going to be an interesting race 2.
It is. I'm pulling up the race results for that race 1 at the moment there, so it'll be the reverse. So Nigel will be starting in the 10th position. He'll be starting on pole, and then Fabio, then he'll go to Nigel. And then you'll go to Jeffrey, you'll go to Ricardo Santos there, you'll have Stevie, was Stevie in the chat? No, it was in the chat before. Yeah. He'll be starting in P7. Lee Horne, Alex Everitt, and Lee Deanley, that'll be the British duo there. And then Mr. Santos, Mr. Lee, and Mr. Gill will be wrapping up to 10th place. And then everybody else will be in those same places behind them. Yep.
I think the interesting thing for as far as the Crest Autosport team go, they need stock. To have a good race. He's going to be on pole. He needs to kind of either really do a number. And what I mean by that is he either needs to make his way away from the field, or he needs to hold him up enough to allow Everett through. Because Alex can pass. We've seen that. He's the man with the steering wheel attached to his arms 24 hours a day. The guy's like a machine. So we need him to really stop to kind of do the business for him and allow him to either climb his way through or Stock's got to get ultra defensive and really kind of benefit from that first place. If he doesn't benefit from that first place, then I think we could be in trouble. And I think it's I'd rather Stock do the job. I think he's got to really grasp the fact where he is on pole and go for it. He can't hang around because he needs these points. He needs to give Alex some help. They're nearly 100 points back from Next Gen Racing Green.
Exactly. Just real quick there to show you what's happening at the moment. We're on our race 2, which is based on the reversed top 10 for the grid. We're going to get ready to go live to the action on the track as the practice session will be finishing now. It'll be kind of a little bit of a warm-up and then be ready to go for the race 2 once again on that reverse grid. You mentioned it's up to the midfield action, I'd have to say, isn't it, within inside the top 10. I think if you get away and you can pull a good lead, you're okay. Cover it off for 15 minutes and change. 15 minutes. But who wants to snatch those other positions? That'll be up for grab within inside that top 10. Once again, you got those ballasts as well that you mentioned, mate. Lots of things that are hindering the drivers that we don't necessarily see up here in the casting box, and you fantastic audience don't see that as spectators. Exactly. But most people, the drivers that do watch us back later, so we are well aware of how much more weight does that add to the car and how much more difficult does it make the car to drive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's going to be the interesting thing for Stock as well, because, the qualifying there is top 8. This is the ballast set for the qualifying at the top 8 at the moment. So I think it's going to be interesting for Stock because he is kind of going to have the minimum amount. Dan Pepels is in chat. Who is this man talking in the booth? This is not Biggles and not that legendary commentator from the Netherlands. Well, no, it's not. It's the Englishman, the Simi Award nominee from Great Britain.
But you didn't bring me any bitter balls, but here we go. Race 2's on the way.
He's off. Stock's got away cleanly. Currently at the moment, Perkins in second. In the Giulietta, his trainers chasing down currently as these guys go rushing down into turn second place.
Oh, Nigel! What a drift!
Oh, wow, he held it onto it, but that wasn't what him and Alex Everitt needed in there. Everett down in 5th. Oh, there's a Giulietta going off. He's going to be coming on the left-hand side. There he is. Whoa, what's an absolute flyer? And I think that was Deanie.
I think it was Deanie, yeah.
Well. Yeah, Deanie taking a very different play up through yesterday on that one. As we see Marcus, Scott, Rallier, Horne, Everett, Santos, Lee. Santos got overtaken by Lee as well there. Horne trying to make his way up in 4th place currently in a moment. Chasing down Gravellier behind him has got Everett, who's going to be looking to try and make that move. He's not going to make it into second 2. He's going to be looking at the hairpin here. Let's see what is happening here with Alex Everitt. Biggles at the moment, apart from Ian Deeney taking a wide one and stopped doing the Tokyo drift style. Everybody got away cleanly.
Look at this. Absolutely, they got to get away cleanly, which is good to see. A little bit of action, a couple of off-track excursions. A lot of action at the back still. I want to keep an eye on as much as I can, but I got the sneaking suspicion that Alex is going to be up for an overtake quite soon. So as soon as I click that camera away, he does the overtake. So I don't want to miss that just yet. We still have at least 12 minutes or so of great wheel-to-wheel racing you're going to expect here at Crest Autosports, as you have all season long. Dan can verify that one with me, as you've just joined the party today.
Yeah, he has been chat at the moment as well. As if the weight is killing me on the semis, doing me both, mate. Trust me, I'm the one that ain't chilling. As we see Fabio Gill still in 7th place, currently making a move past, trying to make a move past Robert Starr. Gill get on his bike, led it, tasted the top step, he's eating the strawberries with the champagne, and at the moment he's sitting in 7th place. He's only got 12.5 minutes here as well. It's like cars going on, behind him, he and Roger there, but nobody kind of wants to make a move.
Of course. So you might be breaking a little bit up on the stream there. I do apologise about it if you can't hear James 100%, but James is definitely hype. Alex is going to try to find a way around. This has been a very difficult track, surprisingly enough, for Alex to get the overtaking mastermind is struggling here in Japan on those overtakes.
Yeah, it's not the most through this section when they are currently at the moment. Yes, it's going to wave him around the outside. It's a really struggle, and from his point of view, he's not to stay close enough for Horne in front to basically make the move down that back straightaway. But he can't run him round the deckers like this. It's ended disaster. Oh, he's up. Oh, blimey. Yeah, right now, Lee there in Volkswagen up on 2 wheels. I was loving that. It was like a scene out of a movie. As you can see here now,
Here we go.
He's all under pressure. He's pushed him out. Everett's got a 2-for-1. Everything's 2-for-1 special. Thank you very much. I'll have that, and I'll have you, Lee, as well. No. What's happening now? He wants the Big Mac bill, and Everitt is taking it there on the top. He's now in 3rd place here this evening.
Making a move. James Lee still trying to do that. Stevie on the outside. Lee Horne is tucked up on the hind in the gearbox in the green machine. And further back, there's Pedro putting a bit of pressure there on Stevie. So that's the battle currently at the moment for your P5 and your P6 and 7 or 4. As your leaders at the moment, that Jeff up the road there. That's British domination like we've seen before in the past. The top 4 are the British drivers. Pedro's squeezed in the middle there. Lee Horne, this is the action, of course, further back at the moment. His poor hands, it looks like he got an overtake done there. Maybe a little bit of a moment there from Carl Smith. That was further back in the battle there for P14. But look at Alex is on the charge, and he has his teammate up the road. Is this going to be team orders at play, or just game on?
What do you think?
I think game on.
Stock, yeah, game on. The stock needs the points as well. You know, it's all right. Everett's got the points.
He's already passed. That's the thing. He's already passed now. James Lee says, like, anything you can do, I can do as well. Got it done.
He's got past stock as well.
Yeah, so team orders at play may have just lifted a little bit too much speed there and allowed these other ones to choose to slice on through here. Because look at this now. Pedro putting pressure on Nigel Stock.
Can't afford to do this. Can't afford to do it. He's be up there, and he's not at the moment. He's about pulling down the way. Oh, poor Stock. I'll tell you what, it's not looking good at the moment, Biggles.
It's not. And time is not necessarily, well, just over halfway. Nice battle brewing, of course, a little bit further back. Here you go. This is they're starting to catch the pack now too. That pack that you just saw up the road there, because there's Fabio Gill, there's Ricardo behind him. There's Ross just nursing in the background. Hey, g'day Ross. I haven't seen too much of Ross Butcher here this evening, but he's currently in that P10 position, making it looking like a P9 if you can get on with it. Get that overtake done up the road there of Ricardo.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does and whether or not he'll be able to here with Butcher chasing down Pessoa Santos. Butcher has got to get on for Rusak Racing in the Hyundai, I'll tell you that much, because otherwise he's not going to be able to get it at the moment as we drop down into 13th place.
Yeah, Roy just
and
got past.
Roy Plummer, didn't he? He's just made that move. But back up front, Perkis, Everitt, Lee. Lee in the only VW in the field and is currently flying along quite nicely. The VW seems to be handling well here. You know, he's kind of repping it almost, isn't he, being the only one here?
Yeah, true. You're right. Some of those manufacturers. Well, you said the BMW. I was wondering, what BMW? There's no BMW on the grid. Not that I'm aware of.
Say BMW?
Yeah, maybe I'm mistaken you on that one. Here's James Lee. Well, we do know he's in a Volkswagen. And there's only one
I
of
thought
them.
I said VW.
Oh, you probably said VW. My apologies, yeah. That's all right. We'll blame it on a little bit of technical. Couldn't really hear you. There's a W in there somewhere, wasn't there?
No, VW.
VW. I said there's a W in there somewhere. James Lee is in there. Yes, James Lee's in that one right now as we're on board.
There he is. And at the moment, that is Alex Everitt in front of us there as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. But I can tell you what as well. I think at the end of the day, Alex Everitt in the Lincoln Co. 03 there is going to be feeling the pressure as we drop into 11th place. That is Mr. Rostots trying to close down and get past Pessoa Santos, which he has done nice and cleanly there for Fraser Rostots as well. So Rostots up in 10th place currently at the moment.
Yeah, so here we go. Alex, time to get this done. So what is Alex, from a P5, P6 I think at the last race, making his way up to a P1. James Lee sticking with them, hanging with the top three here. And there's a little bit of a drop back if you go to Mr. Pedro and Lee Horne there for the P4, P5. But that's the battle for the lead at the moment. And how long can Jeffrey hold off our championship leader?
Not very long. If he leaves that door open like that, I'll tell you what, Everett's going to be taking this. He ain't going to think twice, and he's going to be like, thank you very much. There we go. Biggles, Perkis, my boy. You better go on filing that police report because, son, you've just been burgled. I'll tell you that much.
Dan's usually the one to use that one. Of course, you were the one to come up with that terminology. That's something you're going to get here at Crest Autosports with James's broadcasting network. Sorry there, Dan. You don't get to be burgled today. Here's other
Lee,
drivers
I'll tell
get
you
burgled.
what. Yeah, Lee's going to have him as well. Down into turn one. Oh,
it's off track. Should be able to come
Maybe
back
you can pull it
on.
back on. How far is he
yeah.
going to come back on, though? That's the problem.
Oh,
He's
yeah, it's
behind
dropped.
stock, I believe.
Dropped it like a 929 stock exchange right there, my friend. Just like the unemployment rate as well.
Yeah, that is stock in fifth currently at the moment there as well. So I have to see how it all pans out for Nigel Stock. See what he can do here.
This is the thing that I was talking to you about, mate. It hasn't. The good thing about the track has those runoff areas, so you can kind of just take a little bit of an off-track excursion and then bring it back onto the track, which is good, as opposed to some of those other tracks, as you say, where they take an off-track excursion, bang, you're in the fence, under 100 miles an hour. So that's good to see that. Yeah, drivers will drop a couple of places, but they're not going to be, dropping it into a hospital. So it's good to see that. Don't forget, get ready for your driver of the day votes coming in soon. This one's going to be almost finishing up a couple more minutes. Do you think Jeffrey is going to come back down on Alex? He's very hard to overtake. Do you think James Lee in P3 could do something about taking this one to Jeffrey?
I think if Perkis loses that position, I think Lee is desperate for Perkis to lose that position. I think Lee kind of knows that he's now losing grips on Everitt. You've got 4.5 minutes on the clock. And at the moment, Lee needs to get past Perkis. He needs, that's the mistake. That's the mistake. He's done it. Perkis double brakes in the middle of Spoon. He was running wide. He had to slide on at the moment, but here comes James Lee. Distinct GG here on the left, over Perkis on the right. How is this one going to pan out as these guys go rushing down through 180? He's going to be Lee. Got to be Lee. Needs to be Lee. And who is he coming in for the Casio Triangle? It's not Lee. Oh, it is Lee. He got him.
Yeah, it is Lee. I was going to watch it actually from this perspective as well too. I was just trying to see the action there, because we can see it correctly from the other. There's Lee. This is Lee Horne, of course, the other Lee. As he can see, Jeffrey and James Lee battle it out too for now, and that's going to allow Alex for 1.7 seconds. Like, easy peasy, I'd say, for Alex to be able to wrap up this race, unless he makes a mistake and does some Tokyo drifting outside of Tokyo, of course, but in Japan. This is the place you can do your drifting if you want to, but I'm not quite sure you want to be doing it on essentially the last lap right now. Or maybe the penultimate lap of race 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one more. I think they've just bypassed under 3.5 minutes. So I have to see how this one pans out, as we haven't got long to go here this evening in race 2 of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. Touring car it is, and touring car it will be here this evening. Let's see how it all happens here with not much time left. With Perkins now being chased down by Horne. So let's see how it happens.
Surprised nobody's gone into the underneath the figure 8. Of course, they're into the second deck, and they're out of there straight into the fence. Leads on the inside here as Jeffrey to your outside. Now inside, outside, of course, as they sweep their way through this motorbike Honda test track here in Suzuka. Throw any cars around this track, mate. You always get some great racing entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things here as well, that Horne and Perkins now, they're going to be crossing the line for one more go at this. And from Horne's point of view for Next Gen Racing Green, he needs that position away from Perkins for nothing else bar the points in the championship and the points in the team standings as well. And I think that's what he's got to do. I don't know how he's got to do it, but he's got to do it. Whether or not he full sends it, I don't really know. He's got to do something.
And he will do something. Fabio's going to try to do something about Nigel up the road as well, representing the Portugal, the quickest of the Portuguese drivers so far in this race. In his teammates. But Lee Horne, go back to the action show here. And Jeffrey. Lee and Jeffrey show.
Yeah, Horne has got through. He's got through on Perkins. It is job done there. It's Fabio Gil trying to make his way up past Nigel Stock. Stock needs to hang on to this position. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to keep it. And if he doesn't, then it will be all shapes of issues.
Don't you leave your door open and get burgled, as James would like to say. And ultimately on the last lap right now, where is Alex? A little bit up the road from this battle, no doubt. Oh, that's a little bit of a moment. That's Fabio. Maybe Fabio's chance done? I don't know. Send it up to Casio now.
In through the Degner 1 he goes. Through Degner 2, Fabio Gil. Chasing down Stock on the last lap of the race, with Everett out in front by nearly a second with Lee, then Horne, then Perkins and Stock. And then this battle here with Gil chasing down Stock.
Oh, here's Alex all the way up the road. It's a cool car.
Yeah, I think
just quicker. He hasn't got a gap of a Japanese train yet, but I would be surprised if it was the feature race. He wouldn't have a gap of a Japanese train. It's average Japanese train delay. Robert making a run here on the inside, perhaps for the last time of this race. Does he get it done? He should. Up at a P12.
Starting over Plummer in the hairpin. Starting up into 12th place there. I think this is going to be done here, and I think it's going to be Alex Everitt for the final time in race 2.
Yeah, easy peasy, as long as it doesn't perform any mistakes. Fabio Gil could be making one last run here for that crucial P5 position, but I think Nigel should be able to hold him off. There's not too much you can do about it right now, so we go back over to Alex.
Yeah, Alex is going to come around for the final time. Here, around the last corner, he comes. Mr. Alex Everitt takes the race 2 victory with Lee in second and Horne behind him. That's important for Next Gen Racing Green. Fabio Gil trying to make this run down as well over Nigel Stock. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Stock.
Wow. Nigel holding that one off towards the end. That was a good exit speed. Yeah. Obviously, that Fabio had.
Mate. He needed that. especially with where Horne is in for the Next Gen Racing Green Boys. He needed that one, I tell you that much. He needed them points. Regardless, he needed them points.
Especially on the penultimate race of the season, you need every single nook and cranny you could sneak out of that car. Whereas that's a second.
Mate, it's so important for the teams. You know, Lee Horne, Next Gen Racing Green. So representative. I can't see who else is in the Next Gen Racing Blue for Perkis. Fraser Rostont's there as well. Rostont's was down in 16th, so it was even more important for Stocks to keep hold of that position.
Yeah, Nigel, right here. Nigel's the Crest Racing, but yeah, you're right. So there it is. So those results will come up in a minute as the cars make their way around those laps. You can see the drivers that didn't really finish at 18th, 19th, 20th, and so on. A couple of laps down. Interesting race. Some really not as aggressive we saw in the first race, did we? In that they probably had a little bit of a cool down, the drivers cool down, debriefing after the first race. And but then again, when it comes to the race 3 now, James, on this first time you cast at Crest this season, just talk to Dad about that. That race 3, that's when you get the elbows out, mate. That's when it's all firing on all cylinders.
Thing is, Philo, it's like anything, right? Because obviously me and Dan do other events, and you know, it's like the UK Sim Racers Round 4. You know, it goes off in a big way, and at the end of the day, you know, it's because it's the last race of the evening. Because you can see Everitt there in race winner, Lee second, Horne third, Perkins fourth, Stock fifth, Gill in sixth, Lee with the fastest lap of the race on 2:12.240. Gill in sixth, Grevelier in seventh, Butcher eighth, Pessoa Santos ninth, Deakin 10th, Santos 11th, Stoddard in 12th, Plummer in 13th, Smith 14th, Lopez 15th, Roston's down in the lonely 16th. He needed to be up there with Stock. Banks 17th, Georgiadis 18th, and after that I didn't see.
I pull it up for you, my friend, because it doesn't last very long, but it's back up on the screen there if you want to see it.
So then we got Georgiadis, Hans, Schneider, and Crave behind that one outside of the top 20. So
and of course, we'll have race 3 coming up in just a little bit, which is... We'll just go over that really quickly for everybody with the itinerary that we're going to have for the Sprint Racing Series. As you know, my friend, what's going to be happening now will be, our grid will be based on the reverse top 10, but based on the second race that we just had. And we'll go through that one in a minute. And a little bit more time. We had another 5 minutes there for the race 3. But absolutely, don't you go anywhere. Race 3 coming up in just a minute. Sponsored, of course, by Apex Racing Tracks. We're back in just a minute. And welcome back. We're going to be underway for our race 3. It's a 20 minutes and it will be based on a reverse top 10 of race 2. That'll be coming up. Now, you're asking us, what are the reverse top 10 of race 2? I shall show you those results up on the screen right now. As Alex Everitt took that one, James, another British domination occurring for the top 5.
Yeah, Alex Everitt again, kind of in the Lee in second, Horne in third, and I think they needed their teammates. Horne could have done Roston's a little bit further up. You can see there he's down in 16th from the Next Gen Racing Green. Kind of needed them a little more help. This is the team championship. Crest got that massive push. Stock finishing in 5th, and Everitt in 1st as well. Horne did what he needed to do for the championship. He stayed as close to Everitt as he could. Does he need more out of race 3? Absolutely. He's got to get it sorted out. But I think we're just going to have to see how things pan out, mate. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be tight between the teams and that after this one as well. But I think from the Next Gen Racing Green, he needs help. He needs help. And Roston's got to give him that. If he doesn't, Horne's going to be the one-man eye in team, I'm afraid.
To correct this, the team championship standings at the moment, I apologise that the driver standings was a little bit incorrect, but that's the team ones you can see. 537 to 525 to 525, and that, of course, is not including the updates from our races that we had today. I'll be updated later. But don't forget to be voting for your Apex driver of the day out there in the chats on both the streams that we're having, Crest Autosport and your broadcasting network there, James, and give that glory that you get for being voted the driver of the day here at Crest Autosports, as it's the afternoon time as the sun is setting here in Japan for our final race.
Who's going to win?
You ask. This is what Dan always asks me all the time. What that reverse grid, mate?
You can't sit on the fence.
I'll tell you in about 20 minutes and change. How's that sound?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
It's fun for the chat, guys.
Sitting on the fence, mate, you're going to get splinters on your bum, and you can't do that, right? So you gotta do it.
All right, James Lee. There
What?
you go. James Lee.
James Lee.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, you cut out on me. That was all.
No, James Lee. James Lee's going to get it. I just think the driving he's been doing is quite good around here in Japan. Alex has been struggling a little bit for those overtakes, apart from that last race you saw. He got a few of them up his sleeve, pulling out those bag of tricks that he has. He has to do it again. I have to say James Lee probably might be a little bit more in a better position here, but 20 minutes, remember, so you don't want to let the likes of Alex get past everybody and up the road, because he's a very, very difficult driver to track down.
Yeah, exactly. Phil in YouTube chat there as well. We've got no Flying Dutchman today, Dan. We have the Simi-nominated superstar instead. Love that. And then he's put no pulling a Dan, Biggles, and he's referring to Tuesday nights where Dan does constantly sit on the fence. Dan has had more splinters pulled from his bottom than he ever cares to imagine. But here we go for race 3 from the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. We are going to be green, and it's Deakin getting away from Pessoa Santos, from Butchers, from De Grelier, from Gill, Stock, Santos, Perkins, Horne. Turn 1 in that high Hyundai for Craig Deakin here as well, leading us away here at Suzuka. Round turn 1 we go. Santos drive through penalty for start. Pedro Santos. Oh my God.
Drive through penalty early is going to really be painful around here for sure.
Oh,
As they're bopping and grinding further back there behind Ross Butcher, of course. There's Stevie in there. Behind him, Fabio. Where's Lee Horne? He's down in P8 currently at the moment. Alex is in. P12, probably exchanging those a little bit around the place, but I'm going to keep an eye on this midfield action as well. It's all over the place. Go back to Fabio Gilbert, because I think it's going to be side by side currently, Rome, at the moment.
Yeah, he's trying it here at the moment. Gil and Gravellier taking one. Gravellier's taking a lot of the curb. Probably shouldn't be doing that. Stock is all on Stock's shoulders, and he's got Horne battling up there. Get 3 wide going into the hairpin.
Yeah.
3 wide. Oh, okay, we go 2. Horne says I can't do 3, but I can do 2.
Ooh, a couple of drivers off into the middle of the
that's
fence.
Juliana again. I think that's Perkins taking a little bit of a dive out there, Biggles.
Yeah, ooh. There's Fraser. This is somebody who's gone upside down there for a second. Remo Schneider. All getting heavily involved, but further up in here, Mr. Lee Horne and Pedro. Pedro has to serve that drive-through penalty, so he's not going to be too much into play with these drivers currently at the moment, but he's still going to try to put in best he possibly can. But what about further up here? Can this be a challenge? Can Ricardo Satas take it to Craig on the first lap of the sprint final race? Here we go, James. Hold on to your breath.
Deacon, if Deacon was a computer, he's just said no, because I tell you what, Mustafa Santos got through with Pinja there. Mustafa Santos was climbing all over Deacon. Deacon turned around and said, sorry son, not tonight. I want this win. I'm going to pull it away. And the man that's scaring me down the league currently there with Alex Everitt is in 7th. And he's 2.7 seconds back at the moment. As we can see, Remo Schneider in 10th. Roston's behind him. Smith as well. Roston needs to get up there. Get on your bike, son. Get on that
don't
brake
get too
pedal
wide
into
out there. You got
turn
to
one.
take your drifting if you get too much of that chicane. And the drive-through
Gotta
penalty
get it,
being
mate.
served, as you saw there before. Another up the field here. I'm just having a look. Where's Lee Horne? Here we go. My man predicted here because the green machine is in town. What can Lee Horne do at the moment there over Stevie?
The problem is he's got Gravellier in front of him. You know, Gravellier being from Belgium is the only Belgium left in the World Cup. And currently he's the only man here as well. So, you know, he's got to be...
Oh! Who was that? Off in the fence. Is that Stevie?
Deacon.
Oh,
Deacon.
no.
Oh,
It's
Horne,
Deacon.
Gravellier and Horne, Deacon in the wall.
Still going pearl-shaped at the moment and just in that the second Degner, as you'd expect.
Yeah,
I told you it's
Deacon.
elbows out, my friend, when it comes to race 3 here at the World Touring Car Championship for Crest. Yep.
You know what though, mate? If it wasn't elbows out, then we ain't racing. And
True.
then we just go into that gap a moment to stop racing. And currently at the moment, we are on board with Butcher chasing down for Somerset. Opposite that, Gravellier 4th, Horne 5th, Everett 6th, Lee in 7th. It's the battle of the championship in 56th with Horne and Everett. How is that one going to turn out here tonight as we go on board with Butcher being chasing down Mustafa Santos, both in the high here this evening. And then we got Fabio Gil tucked up right behind him.
Tucked up, but tucking their time because 5 minutes of this race gone. And I'd like to see that you will probably see this battling going tooth and nail for another remaining 15 minutes. They're not going to give up just yet. It's about what's happening further down the field, of course, which is Alex Everitt making his way past Mr. Stevie, and Lee wants to copy the same. This is going to be the Lee and Alex showdown that I kind of expected.
Oh, the door's closed and Everett thought about it. What's Horne going to do? Is he just going to send it? Gap. No. Gap's there.
Yep.
Gap's there. Everett's sending it. Is that Gravellier? Oh, it's
Stevie went rallying, a little bit too deep, and Alex made his way up at a P3 during all that. Gets Ricardo. Well, everybody's looking at what the cars were going off into the gravel trap at the back there, and Lee got past there as well. Eventually, Ricardo not having a best of moments. They're dropping in a couple places, and looking to drop another one there as well.
Yeah, there's acting further back as well. Look at the guys side by side. The only VW, that is Lee in the field. He got past Mustafa Santos.
Ross Butcher still leading this one. Just having a look at this other battle that is occurring, of course. Robert's down here in the back here at the moment, unfortunately. trying to make his way back up through here, and he's got Pedro behind him. Remember, Pedro had to serve that drive-through penalty, so lots of work to do, but still a little bit of time to get it done. Maximum your points that you can possibly get in the penultimate round of the season, as Remo Schneider's trying to maximum his way past the Portuguese, the driver of Ricardo.
Yeah, trying to get past Pessoa Santos there as well. Let's see how this one pans out.
I'm just interested to see, if Lee starts to get a little bit closer to Alex up the road. Keep an eye on that in a second, because the gap's about under 30 seconds or so, but very quickly that can change. There is Lee Horne. There is Alex. Look at this. And further up, Fabio putting the pressure back on Ross. So that's your battle for P1 and P2, and P3 and P4 you can see on your screen. See about Ross at the moment, because he's the first one that's going to be under a little bit of attack here from Fabio. The Hyundais, my friend, are doing quite good. P1 and P2. They're still early days, of course. Lincoln Co. of Alex is in the P3 position for the car manufacturers, and then the Supra in P4 of Lee Horne.
Look at the Hyundai Elantra there from Gil behind us, climbing all over the back end of Butcher. I'll tell you that one. It's going to be close here. Butcher's got to tidy up that first entrance into that Estes, otherwise Gil's going to have a good go at him. He starts coming up now, dropping through the second part of the Estes. Fabio Gil running around the outside. We're coming in through Dunlop now. It's going to be the left-hander. Here we go from Butcher around Dunlop, dropping through into Degner's. Horne is also attacking everyone behind him. Keep an eye on that one as we look on the rear wing here, dropping into Degner 1. Here comes Fabio Gil. Gil, we know, is the one race winner this evening already. Biggles, he wants to have a taste of the champagne, buddy.
Yeah, the bubbly stuff is always sweeter at the top step, but Ross is going to try to deny him as much as possible, because unfamiliar territory for Ross to be right up here, which is good for him. And he wants to maintain that P1 and represent for the UK. It's coming home. It's coming home. That's what they say, isn't it? Football's coming home. Well, it's touring cars are coming home. Yeah, we'll see.
Bro. Mate, I'm a football fan. I get it. I can't see past Brazil, mate. They're so above another level at the moment. But let's see. Never say never. But at the moment, never say never. Fabio Gil, 11 minutes on the clock. You're going to get about another 5, maybe 6 laps here, Gil. You're going to have a go, son. You've got to have a go now. Going into 180R.
Yeah, he's got to get it under, because look at the background there. There's a certain championship contender and previous champion lurking him down, because Alex pulled a little bit of a lead there away from Lee now. And you can see Alex is just reeling him in just a little bit quicker per lap. That's what Alex does. He shaves it a tenth or two off you. Slowly, always doing it, always lurking in your rear mirrors, and the person who don't want your rear mirrors, and that's it. It's really up to Fabio to try to get this job done on Ross at the moment. Otherwise, he's going to have to be more worried about Alex than he would have to be worried about Ross.
Yeah, I think Fabio Gil is he needs to be a butcher soon. You see the looming Everitt, but in the looming Horne. Horne's got to be used with most of this. Why these guys are fighting and Everitt can't go anywhere? Horne needs to get onto the back. You know, he needs to find where Everitt is struggling or where these guys are struggling.
You're right,
because
yeah.
He needs to be tucked up behind him, mate. He can't have this gap that he's got at the moment, which is almost about 9-10.
It's worked, actually, believe it or not, because the gap now, Alex is tucked up. He's got down to about 83 or so seconds. So it was over about a second before, 83 tenths. So it's helping. It's down to 65 tenths now too. So this one-way, three-way, two-way party is now a three-way party, a four-way party. And I wouldn't be surprised if James Lee is not a part of this party soon as well too, because one thing catching a car. Now it's time to look at overtaking them. And that's sort of the inside. Alex says, "Thank you very much. I caught you napping. Job done."
I don't know if he caught him napping. We may have announced he was there by really removing him from the line that he wanted to take. I'm not entirely sure if napping would be the right word.
That's what Alex does, mate. He's like, if gap car, bang, he'll find a place wherever it is in the track, and he'll put that car in it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think if you drive sensibly honestly, with Alex Everitt behind you, he can't get past. I think you give him a sniff. He's like a dog with a bone. If you give him a sniff and tell him where it is, the dog's going to pick you up. If you don't tell him where it is and don't show him where it is, Everett can't get past. And Butcher's got to decide now what way he's going to take this car. Is he going to be defending hard, or is he going to leave the gap and know that Everett's going to get through? The problem is, the Butcher, if he allows Everett to get through, he's got Gill chasing him. So it's going to be an if-gap car situation for Everett, but it's got to be Butcher literally out the back with his builder, mate, building a wall to try and stop Everett to get through. Because otherwise, if-gap car.
You're right. Yeah, this is, and Ross has got to be sweating like crazy. He's doing a good job. He's been holding off a lot of people for a long time, but now holding off a defending champion is another different ball game to play, or sumo wrestling match to watch, perhaps here in Japan, because they are going to have to sumo something at the moment, and to throw somebody perhaps out of the arena in a polite way, by giving me a little bit of a nudge and nudging away through an overtake. And that it is bringing the James Lee into play. You can just see him in the background there for the P5.
The only problem with Lee can't make it past Gill. I think if he can make it past Gill, I think this could be a different situation for Horne. And Lee's got to try and stay with him, or Gill's just got to try and do something. He's got to put Everett under pressure. If somebody doesn't give Everett a run for his money, Everett's going to say, thank you very much, I'm going to have it. I'm going to go around the outside. If you don't go up the inside, we're both going now. Horne's trying to go around the outside of Gill as well. He's trying to pull it out that Everett's created. And it's going to be Gill and Horne through 200R now, along swooping right-hander. And that's Horne through on Gill. Next up to Horne is going to be the defending champion, Mr. Alex Everitt. Butcher's going to have it tough, mate, at the moment.
Yeah, but he's, you know, he's used to cutting up opponents before, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he's made a stern of stuff, don't get me wrong, but he's the stern stuff is the metal man he's got behind him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is the thing. Lee could be his back marker here. Lee could be his blocker, his bodyguard. If Lee could find a way past, and trust me, Lee's wanting to find a way past Alex. And here we go. On board Lee. Let's have a look at Alex. Sneaks it on through Casio. On time? Can it be on time? Can he make it stick? Ross is not going to be happy about that one, but he was burgled, my friend. He did leave the door open, as you'd like to say.
Yeah, but I don't think he expected Everett to try and take that outside line. It's now Butcher's to run. Down into turn one. Butcher on the left, Everett on the right. As we go racing down into turn one, Butcher's just got to send it in. He's got... Oh, I didn't think...
No, not yet, mate, but he's got a little bit of time. It's easier said than done. We're up in the casting box, mate. Different kettle of fish when you're down there grueling and out in the World Touring Car Championship. You're one of those casters that say, just do it. It's easy. I want to see you out there, James. All right, let's go. You're starting up for Crest to race next season?
God, I'm in the booth.
Oh, here we go. Dan can cover that for you. You'll be all right. Get down there and drive, and we can cast a curse you.
No, he's not going to the level of he can't do it. He said he's busy. Apparently, he's picking poppies in the field.
Here's James Lee and Fabio. They're at it again. Separated from, sent them the principal's office at school because they keep fighting, and they come back to the schoolyard again and again and again. You can't separate them. Set up to the naughty corner, to the timeout. Doesn't matter. It's great racing.
Lee is through, though, buddy. He has gone through. The job done there for James Lee. Horne has got two choices. Play it nice with Butcher and say, it's all right, son, I'll go for a gap when I can. Or he's got to go. And if he doesn't go, he needs to go quick. Because at the end of the day, he can see his championship rival opening up 8-10 already.
I know. We said this. Once Alex gets up the road, that's it. It's essentially almost game over. Lee's got to do this early. Now, Lee did it. Remember when Alex made those overtakes earlier? Lee was thinking his way through as well. But the problem is right now, Ross is not going to want to yield this one. He's doing a fantastic job for the British driver, for the Hyundai. He's doing a very good job holding off people as much as he can. But look at the bullying now. And still, Rossi says, none of my mate. Bulldogs are the national dog of British. And he's bulldogging his way to defend that P2.
Yeah, the trouble is though, mate, he's got another bulldog right behind him in Lee Horne, and Horne, I think, is not going to be happy about that move from Butcher. Horne went to go in, Butcher cover it. Horne went to go out, Butcher tried to cover that as well, and that was in the braking zone. From Horne's point of view, I wouldn't be impressed with that double move for Butcher in the braking zone. I'm not trying to stir trouble. That's why we're here, to give opinions on the situation, and that, unfortunately, looked like a double block. Butcher coming one to the right, and then Horne went to the left, and Butcher come left as well in the braking zone. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some form of protest going on here in that one with Lee Horne. But as I say, I'm in the booth for a reason. I'm not out on track. What it looked like for me.
Yeah. There's your Apex Driver of the Day too. Get ready for voting for that one, because we're about 3 minutes and change away for the finale, for the race 3, for the penultimate race of the season. So everything is great in Japan. It's great machines, trains, quick trains, vending machines, samurais, sushi, and wheel-to-wheel World Touring Car Racing. Got a stick on the inside, James. Come on, mate. Give it a shot, because you probably got only 2 more laps to go, if at best.
Oh, man, Lee comes from that one, but boy, oh boy, he wasn't in another postcode. He wasn't in another state. He was in a country when he said that on the inside of Horne. I'll tell you that much. Lee Horne there must have been wondering what the hell was going on with James Lee.
It's the inseparable Lees, mate. You see, you just talk to ask the Dan and stuff like that. Obviously, it's been following the season all along. The Lees, man, you can't separate the Lees when they're at it. They just love wheel-to-wheel racing. There's Lee Horne and James Lee. If it has a Lee in it, man, it's a motor racing spirit in your blood. I can tell you that.
Here we go again. Here we go again. There's the one block. There's the 3 wide Casio. Oh, this is going to be not that.
Ross is holding on for dear life, and he's doing a good job. But Lee's kind of side by side, but it's going to be frustrating, isn't it? Ross doesn't want to give it away. Doesn't want to yield it up. But you know that Lee needs to give it everything he can. Here we go. You wanted your 3-way, mate. Here it is. 3 into 1 corner. Will it work?
9 down. Oh. Butcher there getting all out of shape. He has lost 2 positions after some sturdy defense from Ross Butcher. He has now lost a position. Unfortunately for Lee Horne, though, I believe it could be too late chasing down Everitt out in front. Unless Everitt has a major drama, I think
he's like the big blue dot. Like, you're basically like looking at, he's on Mars. Everybody's on Mars right now looking at the big blue, and that's the Earth, of course, all the way across space. And that's where Alex is right now. They're looking at that going, that's the big blue ball. Untouchable at this point, but who's wanting to potential podium, mate? Because that's what's up for grabs right there. P3 from Ross all the way down.
Yeah, I think Ross is last lap of the race. Gill, send it on Lee. He says, have a taste of your own medicine, sunshine. I'm coming through. Ross having a Gill there. It's more contact with Ross. Ross needs to get hold of Lee. I'll tell you that much. He's got to make a move. While stock is down the order at the moment, it's got to be good for the boys from Next Gen Racing Green here, with Ross in the current 6th and Horne in the 2nd. It would do them no world of good in the championship standing, because as long as Horne can wrap up in 2nd place, Biggles, he's got a chance going into the last race. You know, it's going to be tough, but he's got to have that chance. He's got to be close enough to have the chance, and he will be on points with Alex Everitt.
And that little squabble at the end there's helped Ross a little bit of breathing space. 10 seconds to go.
Ross is going to run him on the outside on the last corner. Oh, what happened? Where do we go?
Oh,
there they are.
It's Remo Schneider, I think. Yeah.
This is it. This has got to be the last lap, isn't it?
It's already.
It is.
It is the last lap.
Everett's through. Everett takes the victory in race 3. Horne in 2nd, Butcher in 3rd. Wow.
Yeah, Alex, we saw it. We're sorry, Alex, we didn't get you crossing the line, but we've caught you crossing the line quite a few times this season. That's not too much of a problem. We had that one once you cleared the Mr. Butcher, that held you up for quite a bit there, and of course Lee eventually did get, but good job there, I have to say, for Ross.
Dirty defense.
Holding off,
there.
against some pretty quick drivers, and Fabio Gil there, the P4. Fraser in the P5. There's your results. It'll come up in a second if you'd like to go through them for our race 3, please.
Got P1, Horne in second, Butcher third, Gil fourth, Ross in fifth, Lee sixth, Grelier in seventh, Schneider in eighth, Dini ninth, Stower Sandals 10th, Plummer in 11th, Deacon 12th, Sandals 13th, Scott on 14th, Georgiadis 15th, Smith 16th, Lopez 17th, Banks 18th, Stock did not finish down in 19th place. Neither did Jeff Perkins.
Do you have your driver of the day that we have to pull up in a second? Do you got one driver of the day?
Do I want a driver of the day?
No, the driver of the day. Voting, of course. We can't pull that overlay up currently at the moment, unfortunately. Don't have enough time, but you still get to vote, of course, for your Apex driver of the day. I'll pull up those results for us, of course, too, for the race 3 in just a second.
Well,
what a race. What a
race. Third race was incredible. And it was as soon as Alex cleared, wasn't it? As soon as he managed to clear, he was done. He was off. It was like he just got past it, and that was it at the end of the day. So I think from his point of view, he needed to clear. He needed to have that gap once he got past Butcher, because if he didn't get past Butcher, I think he was going to be stuck for a while. And he's managed to clear there, so I think from that point of view, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Ross, just that was it. It was tough because I mean it cost a few laps there for Alex to get past Ross, and then eventually Lee got it done. Some of the off-track excursions that you saw, though, and unfortunately, sorry for the other drivers at the back there for that race if you didn't get too much of screen time. Just so much action there was at the front there for crucial points, paying positions for the championship. No doubt that will be wrapped up for the next race. We'll see if we can get interviews real quick, though. We want to hear from Alex. Is anybody waiting for a quick chat to us?
Yeah, I want to try and get hold of Horne, if I can, to come and have a chin wag. Because you know me, I ever love a good combo with a driver. Let's see.
I think we're going to have Alex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's pull in Mr. Alex Everitt in the booth. Your victor in race 2. Your victor in race 3 takes the outright championship lead here tonight from Lee Horne, and what a stellar job he did. Good evening, Mr. Everitt. I hope that build-up made you, pick you up a little bit.
I felt very good. Thank you very much.
All right, mate. That's why we're here. Look, an outstanding evening of racing. Somewhat, not bad race 1, but then again, I guess a P6 in qualifying might have done that for you. But you redeemed it in race 2 and 3.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with race 1, and it's been the case with a lot of the races this season, where I can't qualify extremely well because the already heavy link is even heavier with the championship ballast. So I do struggle in qualifying. It's never been my strong suit. So you're probably going to, you have been finding me qualifying 5th, 4th, 6th. I think at one point I was 8th in one qualifying, something like that. So yeah, it doesn't set me up very well for race 1. But the guys at the front were very, very quick. I think we found tonight that the Hyundai, the Elantra, is very quick around this track. It's very quick down the straights, and my experience of it last season was that it could rotate around corners very, very easily. So I think, I'm assuming on a track like Suzuka, it's going to help very much. We saw that in race 1, and they took it away. But yeah, race 2 and 3, completely different with reverse grids and that sort of thing. Certainly did help out.
Right, with James, was it race 1 or race 2 where you had an interesting adventure with one of the other drivers where it got a little bit really elbows out? Which was that, race 1?
Race 1.
That was race 1, yeah. Could you explain what happened there, Alex?
It was with Fraser. We did have a chat after it, but we're not really going to. We decided not really to say anything until we saw the replay, because drivers in their own eyes see it from their point of view, and it's hard to see from the other driver's point of view until you see we'll call it video evidence, speaking from real life sort of experiences and that sort of thing. So yeah, not really going to comment on it until I see a replay. It felt initially in my mind like Fraser moved across on me, but that's how it felt in the car. I'm not going to say that's what happened.
Yeah, fair enough. Go ahead, James. And race
if
2?
if we're drivers, though, Alex, we're always innocent.
Yeah, drivers be drivers, drovers be drovers. Yeah,
yeah, we're always innocent, mate. We're always innocent. But look, that gives you the outright lead in the championship. Now you were tied going in on 3-2-7. You've come out on front. You know, you've got more points than Horne over the races. You know, what are we looking at going into the final race of the season then? Because it's going to be tough for you, not only in the overalls, in the team standings for Crest Autosport. You know, you're kind of struggling a little bit to keep up with the guys in Next Gen Racing Green and the Fiskas Motorsport.
Yeah, it's been a struggle in the teams championships, and I think today, speaking to Nigel about it, of course speaking to Stephen as well. He's in the other Crest Autosport team, but he's been helping us out. We kind of saw today as a last gasp effort to try and get back in contention for the teams championship, and it was looking good after race 1, race 2, because race 1 we scored many more points than Next Gen, and in race 2 we scored many more points than both of them, but race 3 it didn't quite turn out as good. So I think we are a little bit too far back, considering that the amount of points you can score per race, it's so small between each position. It's going to be very tricky for us to get anything in the teams championship, but a top 3 is a good achievement in my eyes for the teams championship. But yeah, the guys, they're very good teammates. They're helping. We're helping each other out in qualifying, that sort of thing, to get each other further up the grid and on the track. No team orders, I can confirm, but yeah, we're all just looking out for each other. It's real good camaraderie in the team.
What now? Hold on. Oh no, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Something you've just said. No, hold on. No team orders in the team.
Of course not. No,
you're telling me in the last race of the season, if you're pushing in second place and you've got Nigel or Stephen in front of you, there's going to be no radio messages from Alex Everitt asking them politely to remove themselves out of your way?
Definitely not.
All right, you heard that live on Crest Autosport.
It's up to them to decide what they want to do. I've always no, I'm being honest. I've always seen it that way with teams championships, and to be honest, I've actually seen it with other teams in this championship in certain scenarios where teammates or indirect teammates, shall I say, haven't moved out of the way. It's touring cars. You know, you just get out there and you get your elbows out and you get involved. That's what it's all about. Team orders, come on.
If gap car, exactly.
Yeah. He says that. I tell you what, I'm gonna watch next week, and I'll be like, team orders, like there isn't any. But look, Alex,
we'll have to give you a Discord feed from our chat up there. But you're gonna have to be ready on the beeps there, Biggles, because there are a few F bombs, a few S bombs, a few B bombs.
I got you covered on that one, my.
Obviously
we're getting to. We'll talk about the schedule, of course, because we will have the final race of the season. And at the moment, it says at the moment he's signing up there from the 6th of October. What about the sign-ups for the new season? How's that going to pan out at the moment?
Okay, so we are going to announce next season's intentions on the 15th of December during the Apex Tracks Grand Prix at Lauschitzring. We'll supply you with the graphic, and you'll be the guys to announce what's coming up next for Crest Autosport on Race Room. It's very exciting. It's going to be very different. If you thought this season was different, look out for next season.
Brooks.
No comment.
Well,
no comment.
Speaking of the Apex Tracks, of course, we didn't get a chance to show the graphic up of our driver of the day as we go through those results. But I think, James, what do you think? Do you think Lee Horne as the driver of the day overall, the best performance?
Yeah, Leon, consistency, did an absolutely stellar job across the evening of racing, got involved, did absolutely amazing. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Lee Horne. So, Alex, you had it last week, my friend, because you dominated in Spa. I had to say Lee Horne, because if you look at the overall races, of course, Lee Horne, he did finish in P6, so you had a bad performance, of course, in that first race. Race 2, of course, Lee Horne in P3, consecutively on the podium. And then, race 2, race 3, of course, he got up into P2. So, improvement.
Yeah, I'd say he had a bit of a difficult night tonight. He seemed a bit frustrated in the chat with me, probably because he's thinking about the championship. But he just seemed to be at the source of a lot of contact tonight, which is unfortunate. We don't like to see too much of that. Granted, it's touring cars, but yeah, just seemed to be in amongst quite a lot of contact tonight. So it sounded like a difficult night for him, but he's not making it easy for me. I've got to say, when I get into a good position, he's in the mirror or he's right in front, one or the other. So yeah, very difficult this season to contend with him. He deserves driver of the day tonight.
Absolutely. So, Alex, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And always good to have a chat to you at the end of another great evening of racing. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the last round.
Thank you very much, guys. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everyone, for watching too.
Bye. Well, there we go. That was Alex Everitt this evening. 2 wins in race 2, race 1 and race. Hold on. Race 2 and race 3, while the commentator goes and picks up his teeth. What do we reckon, Biggles, this evening? Absolutely stunning evening of racing.
It was just those results again. Race 1, of course, Mr. Gill wrapped that one up there on Mr. Lee in P2 and Santos. So Portuguese and Santos got the fastest lap. Over to the race 2 results there, Alex and Mr. Lee and Mr. Horne wrapped up the podium positions there for the Brit squad. And for the race 3 you just saw recently, Alex, Lee Horne, and good old Russ up there, isn't he? Held off from that by battling towards the end. So you get to see Russ, and hope to see more of Russ battling his way into the final round, of course, and that's your schedule overlay right there at the moment. And that's at Lutzering. How do you pronounce that, actually, the final Apex racing track?
Yeah, now I've worked on this one, right? And I was trying to sound it out. You know, obviously at school and we teach reading and stuff. And Lutzering. That was my Lausitzring. That was my
okay.
Lausitzring. And I've got about 4 hours in there, but I'm sure they're probably not all in there. But that is it, Biggles. One mighty last sentence on tonight's racing.
I thought you were going to say, are you going to come out with your outro here? I know what you're going to say.
I will do, but I want to hear your opinions on the racing.
It's been a pleasure in the booth with you, and I'm not sure if you're getting any Bratwursts, my friend, in the German track that will be coming up soon or not. But it's been what? Sorry, I can't say goodbye in German, unfortunately. But it's been good, been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the last round.
Absolutely. So there you go, guys. That brings out the end of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge, broadcast live on the Crest Autosport YouTube channel and over on the JPB YouTube channel as well. So please go and hit the subscribe button on both channels. Turn on the bells for notifications. Give the videos a big old thumbs up, because you're not going to want to miss any of the action. We've had TSRC going on tonight as well with their GT3s. So later on this evening, we've got the IGL Sprint as well. So be tuned in for that one as we take on a cash league here as well. But guys, that is it for this evening's broadcast. I'm James Parfitt. He's been D Biggles. You all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.